Thank you for joining us. This is the Dr. Mära Kevin Show, coming to you live from Placencia, Belize at the Prana Maya Island Resort. I have the amazing privilege of having Nancy here with me today. And we're just going to have a chat seaside. Thanks for coming, Nancy.
Awesome. Yeah, this beautiful view behind us. It's wonderful here. It's so energetically calming.
How many days have you been here?
What day?
You're like, what is today, right? That's the winning answer right there.
See, is it Sunday? Because I have to leave tomorrow. That I know. So I've been here since Thursday.
Okay. How are you sleeping?
Exceptionally.
Okay. You said yesterday we did a paddleboard tour around the island yesterday. You said your sleep score was getting higher and higher as you were here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're waking refreshed?
I do. As I was saying, I came here feeling a bit of mold symptoms.
Oh, that was right.
And I feel like something about this environment, the people, the bedding, the walls not being, moldy, everything's just perfect. I'm feeling so much better.
So you're clearing mold symptoms since you've been here?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They're gone. I was like, if I could live here, I would.
Well, you can. You can come join us anytime. Stay as long as you want. I think a big part is that we have taken consideration of every detail on this property. We have removed every toxic material you could imagine, down to how we wash the sheets with eco-friendly sheets. We're not using icky detergents. How we clean the property. We're using all organic, natural products. There's no herbicides, pesticides, or fungicides on the property. We're barefoot. We're grounding in Mother Nature all the time. And then we have grounding mats on the beds too.
Yeah. I need to know which grounding mats you guys have.
We actually just sourced a bunch of them so that people can start buying them through us as well.
You forgot to mention the naked swimming.
And there's naked swimming, of course. We just go right out here and you can dip in and get all of those negative ions absorbed into the body.
I did do that the other morning. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah. That's a big part of safety here, right? As women who travel alone quite a bit, one of my number one things is how am I going to feel when I get there? If our nervous system is on defense mode of feeling like we need to protect ourselves, we're not going to relax. We're not going to sleep well. Our digestion might be upset. Our skin might be upset, right? That stress is going to come out somewhere, just trying to feel safe. And to the point that there's a woman traveling on her own and going out skinny dipping right here, that says it all to me, that how safe you feel. We don't lock our doors. Everyone's just running around, being in community with each other.
I mean, not even even just here, I feel very safe, but it extends beyond that. I went to the main Placencia.
Yeah, into town.
Is it mainland?
Yeah, mainland.
This morning, and I went for a run. Yeah. And I normally don't feel safe. I normally don't get to go out on runs and not constantly be one AirPod or headphone in, right? Just to make sure I'm aware of my surroundings. But I had both of them in. I was running down random streets. And what made me feel so safe wasn't just where we are and the energy of this place, but the locals.
Yes.
They weren't staring at me.
No,
they weren't making me feel like a
ogling.
target, which is so rare.
It's family there. This community here is such a strong knit, small family community that once you're here for a while, everyone knows each other in town as well. So if someone does step out of line, it's almost like you're put on the front lawn and everyone's going to be like, why'd you do that? Right. And so because it's a small community, there's this tight knit relationship and that extends out into here at our property as well. Like we are family here when we work together. I tell my staff, I love you. I hug them. We are filled with gratitude. And so we want everyone to feel that safety here. We want, if you're working here to being a guest here, do you feel safe here with us? Are you excited to be here? And then you'll feel that with the staff when they're here to support you and being here.
You're speaking to the energy of what you guys have created, which I felt immediately when I got here.
It's some other guests have described it as you take the boat from the mainland to our island here and you come around the corner and it's like you went through a portal. Like there's some shift that things just become magical. And part of the safe space too is we can have conversations like this and there's no judgment or like, that's weird or woo-woo or taboo or not in the paradigm of the Western mentality. It's like, this is a place that we can all come together in heart coherence. No matter the religion you are, the language you speak, we're here to welcome you and get to know you and celebrate life together.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because that is real. I mean, we are all energy. We're all electrons. And like, it's funny to me that some people don't believe in energy and feeling energy, but they do believe in Wi-Fi.
Right.
It's a little bit backwards, but it is true, And when I came, I was a little stressed out.
Yeah.
I was on guard. I was, in a new place, and almost within, I felt like a different person within just a night. The next day.
Yeah.
By midday, I arrived in the evening, and by midday the next day, I was like, my hair's blonder, my skin's brighter, like I'm relaxed. There is definitely a specific energy here.
Yeah.
And what I experienced the next day was not just the relaxing energy of feeling that community that you guys have built, but also everything was manifesting very quickly and easily. And that there are few places in the world where that does happen.
This is a tuning fork here. Like I can literally feel the vibrational energy when I first get back on property after I've been what I call in the matrix of the United States. And I have to come back, like you just said, and reground, calm back down, come into island time. And I can feel the tuning fork that's here, this pulsating energy. We're surrounded by the most beautiful water. This is the world's second largest reef system. So the coral is here that's emitting its own frequency. The fish are here emitting their own frequency. The seaweed is emitting its own frequency. And human bodies are majority water. And so this tuning fork is now in alignment with that tuning fork, and that's part of that calmness that you feel. You had brought up Dr. Emoto, the Japanese, who's considered a pseudoscientist, which you and I don't believe, but that's what he's been coined. But sometime around like the 60s or 70s, he had done the test on water. And he did this through different sources. It was water that he spoke very poorly to, and they could see the crystalline structure actually change. Yeah. And then he spoke really positively to the water, and it was like the most perfectly formed crystal. He then performed this with rice. Within 30 days, the rice he spoke poorly to, like really, really negative words, rotted, molded, whereas the one he spoke beautifully to, beyond 30 days, without any refrigeration, any covering, stayed clean and pure and tasted sweet when they tasted it still. So, and then you had another study that you brought up about rabbits.
The rabbits, yeah. About the rabbits. They were feeding the rabbits the same type of food every day, but one subset, they were talking, love affirmations, saying how amazing they were. And the other one, they were speaking really poorly to, and the results spoke for themselves, where the rabbits that they said nice things to were very healthy. The ones that they were speaking negatively to were overweight and sedentary and not doing great. So,
and imagine being surrounded by people who are not speaking kindly to each other. That frequency then changes who we are versus positive and reinforcing and lifting everyone up. Part of the big thing that we have here that I think you're feeling too is the food is medicine, that we have taken every detail, and that's part of that positive vibration. You're talking about the rabbits, that one rabbit ate this food that was spoken poorly to. It was negative energy that they were consuming, right? Here, we're consuming all farm and seed to table, organic. There isn't anything on the menu that has any pesticides, hormones in it, flavorings of any kind. We've become pedantic about how we're going to nourish you while you're here. And for you specifically, how have you been feeling with the food? Because this is a really important topic for you especially.
Yeah, as someone who typically comes with a whole list of like, are you sure you're going to be able to feed me? To every retreat, resort, everything I do, it's been really easy here.
Yeah.
Almost everything that I don't eat, you don't even have in the kitchen. I don't eat seed oils, canola oil, gluten, really a lot of grains, sugar, preservatives, processed foods. It's really hard for me to travel without ahead of time checking. But here, I remember I texted Colin like, "Oh, are you guys going to be able to feed me? Like, here's my list." And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be no problem."
Yeah. When he sent me your list, I was like, this isn't an issue. Yeah. What next? What else do we, right? I was like, I didn't even think about it twice.
And it's hard to do that outside. I feel like you guys have really worked hard to source that.
It's exhaustive in Western society that we have to ask 10 questions or be anxious about where we're traveling to, that am I even going to be able to eat the food, or am I going to be made sick? Here we have taken such extreme effort. We have partnered with local businesses, in particular with a focus on women-run businesses, to make sure we're sourcing the organic chicken and the organic eggs. And that comes from a women's run farm that we're doing that from.
And it tastes great.
And it tastes amazing because those were happy animals on top of it who were respected and loved, right?
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I know we were talking earlier about kind of what brings someone into a healthy environment, what actually creates health in the body. And we're having a healthy debate around what comes first.
Yeah. It's an important one, and it's exciting to talk about. I mean, I'd love to hear your side of how you think, because I also love that that's what would heal you, and that one size doesn't fit all. Let's say you even had a twin sister. She's going to need to be healed in a different way than you're getting healed. Yeah, right?
Absolutely. I mean, from my beliefs, my belief system is that it's spiritual, emotional, and physical.
Yeah. Mind, body, spirit. Yeah.
And the food comes into the physical, as well as a bit of the emotional, if you're talking about how you can speak affirmations and spells into your food, into your water. So from my perspective, the first thing is that I'll just use an example. I got really sick 2 years ago with mold toxicity. And a lot of things happened in my life the year before that were very traumatic. Lost a baby, lost a best friend, left a business that I'd started to build with that person. And all of that put my body into a place of not feeling safe.
Right.
And then mold that was probably living in my home the whole time started to impact me. Right. And then all these physical ailments came from that. And I did everything under the sun
physically
to detox that. I mean, you name it, I've done it.
Okay.
And it was great. It reversed my biological age a lot.
Right.
But
it didn't clear the mycotoxin.
It didn't clear them fully, and it didn't clear the PTSD that came from, now my body, and I'm working on it, so it's an active progress. But now my body, if I feel a little bit of mold, I might have an extreme response because, oh my God, I might get really sick again. That PTSD, that's an emotional, mental aspect of it. So my belief system is similar to Dr. Babak Almond's, which is that, and I shouldn't say similar, this is his belief system that I've learned from him, is that there's a spiritual aspect that you first address, and then there's the emotional, like, do you feel a sense of purpose in life? Are your chakras aligned so your body can heal itself?
Yeah.
Do you feel safe? And once you feel that emotional safety, have you addressed the trauma?
Right.
Which I just did Ibogaine at the Beyond Center in Cancun that we talked about. And I'm happy to share more about that if you want. But that for me was to help clear that trauma and then focusing on the physical. But if you do what I did, this was my experience. I poured so much money and time and effort into the physical and neglected the emotional and spiritual.
Right.
And it didn't fix the problem.
Chinese medicine correlates that emotions are in charge of everything, to the point that they've assigned a spirit to every organ system. And so that we can nourish that spirit through the body, or we cannot nourish that spirit through the body. And so that can come from meditation, chakra alignment, these beautiful things that you found resources to do. I made the joke that, if we're feeding you hamburgers that are from an unhappy, unhealthy, unsafe, animal source and land environment, and drinking and pounding beers every night and getting terrible sleep, it's not going to, I think there's a layering that needs to happen that's unique to the individual. So I say to every one of my patients, do you feel happy? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel safe? If you don't say yes to all three of those things, then let's start to address them. How can we help you feel happy? How can we help you feel healthy? How can we help you feel safe? And that's a layering system of the food is medicine to nourish that organ system that's out of alignment, which will then also nourish the spirit. Or it might be doing a cleanse, doing a fast, that you're not even bringing food in to help cleanse and clear so that those chakras can align quicker, or the chi gates can open and have smooth flow throughout the body easier. So I believe it's actually on a continuum. And that it's like when we thought we did the full circle, you're going to start again, right? And you might take time that you're delving just into the spiritual or just into the physical. And hopefully at some point, it all comes together. I used to say it's 50% what we eat and it's 50% how we move. And I have a beautiful friend, he's Maori in New Zealand. He said, the most spiritual culture, I think, on the planet is the Maori culture. And he said, no, it's 100% of what we eat and it's 100% of how we move. And I was like, and it doesn't mean moving in a CrossFit gym. It means sitting with yourself and moving what needs to be moved in or out. And that's that spiritual side, right?
And that's why also water fasting does work.
Yes.
Because it allows the body the peace and time to heal itself. Yeah. Now, you can't just go water fast in a toxic environment with bad sleep. That's not going to work.
Right.
You have to take care of the entire environment, what you're putting in your body and through your nose and into your mind. You can't just do one.
We've had a couple inquiries for people who want to come and do water fasts here, and that they could stay in one of the villas, and we would bring in very specific water for them, because that molecular structure, that frequency of water could have been altered from how it was sourced, how it was brought here. So we've had a few people, and I'm really excited that at some point we're going to do a water fast here.
Yeah, I'd love to talk more about that. I'm curious because I spoke with Steve, your co-founder, on this. What people do to detox can be very different. It can be everything from, the very spiritual water fast to Ayurvedic to like really hardcore biohacking, plasmapheresis.
Right.
And I'm curious where on the spectrum you guys want to sit, or is it going to be the entire offering? Is everything?
It's such a great question. And I don't have an exact answer to this yet, because I like to pull a little bit from all the resources because, again, one size doesn't fit all. And I want to make sure we have resources for anyone who's going to come here. I have sat and done contrast therapy with NFL players at 6 a.m. and I'm like, okay, these guys need this. Whereas I can have a group of women here doing a women's retreat who really need to just downregulate their nervous system and be cradled and softly held here.
Yeah.
I will never put them through contrast therapy then. That would just put them into adrenal overload. So what I'm bringing in is customizable to every person who comes. I am not, everybody go get on the Vibed, everybody go get on the cloud mat, everybody go do PEMF, everybody do, no, that's such a Western mentality. Eastern mentality is, let's just pull in and make it unique to you.
It should be personalized.
Yeah.
Health should be personalized.
Yes.
And as long as you're, covering this full spectrum and you have all the offerings, then people can come in, get assessed. Yeah. You can throw in some AI if you want and, put in all their biomarkers, their blood work, their Apple Watch health data or Ring or whatever.
All of it's
in body,
info,
all the things. Right? And it can create a plan for them that works for them given their goals.
Right.
And if you guys are thinking about doing that, I think that's very exciting because there aren't many places. There are a few, but there aren't many places, even in this part of the world, let's say like the Americas, where you can go have that done.
And sourcing it of quality, because how many PMF mats are out there?
Oh my God,
you
so
have
many.
done
I
all
have
the
one
homework
at home that doesn't work, and then I go to Upgrade Labs and it just fixes my back within 4 days.
See, so that's the big part too, is we're collaborating with someone of your expertise to bring in not the nonsense that other properties might be telling, like, oh, we have red light or we have contrast therapy or we have,
such a difference.
But they don't know the quality of it. And that can be deleterious to someone's health also, or just a waste of their resources, meaning their time, their energy, their hope that this was going to heal them, that PTSD component, that it didn't, yet again, it didn't work, right? Versus, oh, wow, this all really worked here. The food worked, the grounding mat worked, the vibe bed, right? They can feel it.
And you have to be safe too. I mean, if you're going to incorporate things like plasmapheresis or stem cell treatment, that can be very dangerous if it's not done properly. Even EBO2 can be scary at times if it's not done properly.
Yes.
So making sure that you guys have the right machines, the right people, all of that. And I know from being here that you will take you will look at every detail. And if it's not working, you'll make sure that it's working before you have people. I mean, I've witnessed that live, that you really care about the details.
Experience the future of wellness with Axiom H2 by First Alternative Therapies, now available at Prana Maya Island Resort in Belize. This advanced hydrogen therapy delivers molecular hydrogen directly to your cells, helping reduce oxidative stress and inflammation while boosting energy and mental clarity. Used by athletes, health enthusiasts, and those seeking full-body rejuvenation, Axiom H2 restores balance from the inside out. Visit firstalternativetherapies.com to get one for yourself. Or take a trip to the revitalizing Prana Maya Island and Resort in Belize and experience the transformative power of hydrogen therapy firsthand.
Yeah. That is the most important part, is being here of integrity. That is the number one thing. I had brought some dear colleagues down back in, I think, April, and all physicians of different modalities. And one of them who I have known for almost 20 years at this point. He's my personal physician. He's my kiddo's personal physician. So been with us through the years. And he just looked at me. He said, Mära, whatever you do, just be of integrity. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to get, by the way, I just got to say, we got to have a hyperbaric chamber. Like, I'm obsessed.
I do love the and I actually used to do it with him. I would get his hyperbaric chamber.
And the hard shell one, you know, you got to go all the way.
Yep.
It makes such a difference. I mean, when I was going through my mold toxicity, I was getting in my friend's hyperbaric chamber. And it was a soft shell, and it was still, I would go in and I'd come out with a totally different brain.
Yeah.
I mean, the actual hard shell hospital level ones. Yeah. They're dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. There, you have to be careful. You can't take electronics in or anything that's going to create static. But wow, do they make such a difference?
I do. Yeah, I love them.
But you have to make sure that it's in the right order.
It was part of healing my own back through a trauma that I had. Was I did multiple rounds of hyperbaric therapy. So I'm like you. I'm a total believer, and it physically, like personally, it helped my own body heal.
Yeah, and a Hocket. I'm like all about the machines, but I'm also about the natural stuff. Like
that's a nice big thing.
Spectrum.
Yeah. To go back to your asking that of like, what are you going to bring in, and what is the balance going to be? I want people to get away from their devices. We are so consumed by things in our face now and dependent on, and I think sometimes those cause anxiety of like, I need to look at my sleep score. I need to look at my Oura Ring results. And it's like, how about just feel it? And come back to yourself. We have an innate capability to heal. We have an innate healing system, and we have been so far removed from that, from the rubber on our shoes that is disconnecting us from grounding to the earth. That simple thing alone of walking barefoot. I tell my patients, even in the city where I live in Florida, every morning, please go ground barefoot. Whether it's in the grass, it's the sea, it's the sand, it's a little patch that you can find on the path somewhere. Go ground. And I treat a lot of veterans, and there's a lot of PTSD, anxiety, depression. It's been a game changer. That alone, all these expensive devices and things. And I'm like, what if we just took our shoes off? When we paddled, we were talking about how it is a necessity to get out in nature and alone, on our own, where it's quiet and we just hear. I woke up this morning and I heard the birds and the water lapping. And my office manager had shared a study that had been done that we wake up in the morning and feel more calm when we hear birds singing, because it's a sign that there isn't a predator around.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because of the frequency that they sing.
Well, it's also the frequency, but it means it's safe out there, right? There isn't a tsunami coming that they've flown away, or there isn't a big, huge animal coming to eat them or eat us. You're like, oh, the birds are singing.
You can't.
It's safe outside right now. And then, yes, the frequency of their different tunes and how they're communicating intellectually with each other. But it's those that we have just forgotten.
It's because it's a new baseline here, right? So you can't underestimate the importance of feeling safe. Yeah. And yet as females, I don't want to say just as females. I'm sure there are some men that have that as well, but it's probably more females than men that don't feel safe day to day.
Physically, I think women need more support in feeling safe. I think men actually need more support in feeling emotionally safe, because society has said, shove it down, buck up, don't cry. What are you up, right?
Yeah.
Versus, so here's a safe space for men to come and be men of whatever that identity means for them. And here's a safe space for women to come physically
feel safe.
And then guess what? Now our spirituality comes out, and now their physical calms.
Yes.
It's why I keep saying it's this balance.
Can you just make the whole world like this?
Prana Maya world.
Yeah, let's the eco village community. No, let's go world level here for this, because it's so beautiful. It's so special. And I do feel a different baseline here.
God, I love that.
And it's a perfect for me, having gone to Ibogaine like 3 weeks ago to be here now.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to, you guys invited me, I think in November.
Right.
And I was like, the timing doesn't work, something's off. And I was like, January feels right. And I'm like, this is perfect, because also it's 25 degrees in Austin right now. There's an ice over and snow.
We're sweating right now.
And I'm like, intuitively, this was the best decision I ever made. To be here and to relax with this natural beauty and go swimming in the water and just calm. It's so calming.
And it's so calming, and finding new community, right? Like every day we have a new guest arriving, whether they're part of who we've invited to join us or it's a guest who's coming to experience the resort. Eventually, everyone joins. I call it our family table, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And again, because it's community here. Like if you want to join us, join us. Join us for a meal. If you don't, if you want to stay in your room and have quiet, please go do that, right? So.
No, it's so funny with the girls that arrived last night, the biohacking blondes. Like,
yes.
Both of them, I was like, we were all three like, have we met? Like we feel like we've met. And when you have that, you've either actually met in this lifetime or you've met in previous lifetimes. Right. And there's just a beautiful synchronicity there.
Yes.
So I like to say that there are no coincidences, there are only synchronicities.
Yes. That was my prayer for us at dinner last night, is we've now all rendezvoused. Right? Mm-hmm. It's the synchronicity of we've rendezvoused, right? Yeah. This was all predestined, divine together for us to come together. Like you said, at this moment, not in November. They wouldn't have been here in November either, right? So it's like you all were meant to come at this time.
Right. I the only synchronicity I'm sad about is I miss Ben Greenfield.
Oh,
by
yes.
like a few hours.
By a few hours. I know. He left early in the morning and you came later in the afternoon.
But it was funny. The day before, the guy, my friend Jacoby, who's watching my dog, introduced me to this guy. He's called Wellness Daddy, I think.
Okay.
And he had just done a big interview with Ben on his home.
Oh.
And I'd been studying it because I want to live in a healthy
he has a very
space.
Green home.
And he has thought through everything.
His feedback too is he came with his family, his beautiful wife and their twin boys. And again, we just sat like family together all the time. Steve went and played pickleball. They schooled the young boys out on our pickleball court. It's just fun playtime. And Ben would jump in and swim across the lagoon and then do whatever awesome workout he was doing for the day. But he got to play while he was here. And everyone left him alone. It was like, just be, right? And he was like, he said, I slept through the night every night. My digestion feels good. I feel energized. He's like, this was different. They had all just come from a very fancy resort in Mexico. And he's like, I didn't sleep. The food was horrible. I couldn't get my workouts in like I like to. He came here and he was like, oh, now I get it. Right now, that's why he kept telling people, like, just come be our guest, come experience it, come feel the magic with us. It's what Steve talks about, is that there's magic that's here. The name Maya is for the Maya civilization, but it means magic. And prana is breath. It's our life force. So it's the life force of breath.
Yeah.
And magic coming together.
I can feel it. I mean, I read energy. I read people through energy, and I can feel it in this place. And like I said, I mean, beautiful synchronicities and manifestations happened within the first 24 hours. I've been wanting to create a school of intuition for adults. And I had a call with the school of intuition person who runs it for kids. And I was like, hey, have you thought about this? She's like, yeah, we're thinking about it. Do you want to come to India in a few weeks?
That would be amazing. So are you going to India?
I'm still in the process of planning and making sure it's the right timing. Exciting. But, that happened just like that. And I also wanted to go e-foiling, as you know. And an e-foiler just rode right over to me as I was swimming. And I was like, what else do I want $1 million.
Right? Manifest. It will happen. It will happen here.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I want to go back to something we were talking about earlier about the intricacies of Chinese medicine and how it relates to the organs in the body. One of my favorite party tricks, which I told you about, is German New Medicine.
Yes.
It was a new discovery over the last 6 months, thanks to a friend. And I now use it for everything.
Oh.
So, if I get like a little bit of a sore throat, instead of telling my body, oh, I must be getting sick, I should take vitamin C and zinc and all these, immune system boosters, I think, oh, I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Now I know this one because I get it a lot, what that means.
Right.
And so I go into ChatGPT, I say German New Medicine, meaning of the symptom, and then it gives me the emotional counterpart to that physical symptom. And with throat, it's not being able to speak to someone I care about, not being able to speak my truth. Something's holding me back in my throat. And so rather than saying, oh, I'm getting sick, I've now started journaling on the thing that needs to be said.
Yes.
And I don't get sick.
Well,
I haven't gotten sick
because you let it up
since I learned this. So I call it a party trick because I want people to know it exists. And I'm curious what your thoughts are on this from a Chinese medicine perspective.
So Chinese medicine describes this as plum pit chi. So it's like the pit of a plum, or pit of a peach, right? That little piece that we typically throw away. But imagine that's our words that are not spoken. That's our truth that isn't shared, that we just close up and stay quiet. And women in particular are really brilliant at shoving our stuff down. And then it creates this little festering in the throat. And it's plum pit chi. And it literally feels like you have something stuck in your throat, or you can feel like you have a scratchy throat, or you're coming down with something. So this chakra point in our body is that color blue. You could also breathe in the color blue and help. And this is why women are more predisposed to thyroid issues.
I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on Hashimoto's.
Yeah, so it's a big part of if we have been squashed our entire lives. Let's just say even we had a male family member that every time we spoke, they would speak over us. You're like, okay, well, I guess I just won't say anything anymore. Or you say something and they say you're wrong and they say exactly what you said in a different vernacular. You're like, isn't that what I just, okay, I just won't speak. I won't speak anymore. And if that happens as a young child through adolescence, what have we been taught? Don't speak, because what you have to say is not of value or not trustworthy, right? So then we develop issues down the road. This becomes a weak point in the body of maybe a thyroid disharmony. Maybe it's feeling like you have a sore throat on a regular basis, or having that, you hear people do that a lot. There isn't actually anything, and there's no object stuck in our throat, right? It's
not speaking your truth.
It's the spiritual. It's not speaking our truth. And that's a big part of, we keep going back to the gut and the brain axis component to that. Yeah. And the majority of our immune system is made in our gut. Mm-hmm. And so if we can tap into the gut health, we're going to be healthier, and you can clear things mentally a whole lot quicker of, I feel great, I'm going to wake better tomorrow. I feel great, I'm going to wake better tomorrow. Or I feel well, but I'm going to wake even better tomorrow, right? I'm going to sleep great, wake. And these mantras that we can do, your innate immune system is going to kick in. It's like speaking kindly to the water structure in your body, just like Dr. Emoto did.
It's like when I was sick, I used to tell myself, or friends, I had to update them, like, where have you been, Nancy? Because I disappeared.
Yeah, mold is serious.
I said, I am healing.
Well said.
Rather than I am sick.
Yeah, well said.
And it makes a big difference because our words are spells.
Yeah.
Going back to the throat, just real quick, out of curiosity, this just came to me. So you might, I know I haven't prepped you on this question, but my mom has something where her throat is actually closing up.
Yeah, there is a narrowing that does happen for some people that is a structural component that they need to have it widened.
That's what she's
having it widened.
What are your emotional? Like,
I have I have a few patients who have that actual structural component, but I would say, tap into the spiritual. Has she tapped in with you through the spiritual part, that she has the capability to heal herself through that? But if she keeps identifying that she can't open her throat without the assistance of the procedure, it's always going to keep happening. It's self-defeating and in this negative loop cycle, versus connecting to what you have been doing to heal yourself, which is that spiritual part. Why is she predisposed to this from a spiritual standpoint?
No, I know it's the not speaking your truth.
So piece. Then, you are the most amazing tool that she could ever tap into, and have you guide her through this and say, Mom, this doesn't have to be permanent for you. We can heal this.
Yeah, trying.
Yeah.
I mean, as we all do, we have aging parents. You know, my parents are both in their 70s. My dad likes to say, I'm going to die at 80.
Oh.
And I'm like, Dad, please, could you not? You know, he's like, but I don't want to live, and be like old and frail and da da da. And I'm like,
then don't be.
Then don't. Right? Like, it's pretty simple. But, our minds are such powerful tools. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I believe that, and actually, my good friend John Mackey says this, that we are directors of our own movie.
Absolutely.
We are writing the script. And actually, you don't really exist the way that I see you.
Right.
You
because it's your own script.
Of my movie, right?
Exactly.
And so I've created you.
Yeah.
The character you, the character me. And if I want to change that, all I have to do is to change the way I perceive it.
Absolutely.
And change the way I speak to myself and change the way I speak to the world. Mm-hmm. And it's that simple.
Yeah.
But I actually have to do that every day. It can't just be
It is a practice, because we're not raised, unfortunately, doing this practice. I hope this is going to change, especially with this movement that you're hopefully going to go be a part of in India, right? This consciousness. Imagine that they're raising children with this. Imagine if we had been raised with that. We would be so much further ahead than how much work we do and talking about this and sharing and spreading the good word, right? There's another part that for your mom and for you is I would really recommend finding an acupuncturist who is a doctor of Chinese medicine, because when we needle certain parts of the body, it's stimulating messaging in the brain. And there are parts of our brain that we aren't even tapping into, but
majority of our brain.
But through the stimulation of these acupuncture needles, we can put someone into an MRI and see the increased blood and oxygen flow to very specific areas of the brain. And we know what those areas of the brain do because of brain mapping now. This is what I love about ancient healing arts combined with evidence-based modern medicine. We bring them together, and this 3,000-year-old medicine intuitively knew what we're now figuring out and giving an answer, an explanation to, of how is that possible? How is it that I'm swallowing better and I feel less stress after I've had a few acupuncture sessions, right? That was specific for your mom, right?
Yeah.
And so there's part that we can increase that blood flow. We can help release certain neurons that then send those chemicals back out into the body. And Western medicine has just used pharmaceuticals to do that now. It's like we're overriding our innate capability to do that.
And it's not even addressing, as we all know now, but didn't, talk about 5 years ago. It's not addressing the root cause. It's addressing the symptoms. And so, I get it. I get it as someone who's been healing a lot in my life.
Yeah.
That the desire to go for that quick fix, to like, give me the pharmaceuticals because I don't want to live like this. But if you go do that, you have to then also try and figure out what the root is and address that. Yeah. Even if you're taking the temporary relief, because you can get stuck on, they've built so that they get stuck on these, that we are all stuck on these the rest of our lives.
It's the most brilliant business ever made. Steve and I talk about it all the time. It is literally the most brilliant business plan that was ever created. And it's astounding and horrifying all at the same time.
It's very backwards. It's our entire healthcare system, though, that is backwards in so many ways.
I have people ask me on a regular basis how old I am. And I say my age and they're like, what? And they're like, you look so great for your age. And I'm like, no, I look exactly how I'm supposed to look at my age, right? And a big part of that is that I have this beautiful tool of Chinese medicine, this spirituality component that we keep coming back to. Right? I'm 47 years old. Okay. And I love saying my age. I don't hide it because I'm so happy with who I've created. As you just said, we could have chosen to create some other avatar in this lifetime, but I've chosen this one. And I am so grateful for this tool of acupuncture and Chinese medicine and other now tools coming in that can help support that, right? Like your biohacking tools and longevity resources that are now coming out. I think we just need to keep tapping back into our youth and who we are uniquely, and then showing up as our best selves every day, as best we can. I truly believe that God created us and there's already a predestined path for us. Just show up and be a good person along the way. You're not going to do it well all the time. I am not going to do it well all the time, but to recalibrate and say, okay, here's my path and I'm going to try and do better today.
Yeah, you're reminding me of this study. I don't know if you heard about this one, where they took a bunch of men who were, I'm going to get the details off, but like, I think they were like in their 60s or something. And they put them in a cabin far away from civilization. And they gave them newspapers from the 70s, foods from the 70s, clothes from the 70s, like all of these things to make it seem like they were living in the 70s.
Okay.
And I forget how long it was. Maybe it was a month or something like that. And they basically tested them physically prior and then after.
Okay.
So they kind of tricked themselves into thinking they were back in the 70s and that they were the age that they were in the 70s.
Oh, I did read this.
They performed better physically after this study, but they weren't doing anything else other than, this kind of tricking the mind piece. And
reversing in their own mental age.
Right. They felt
they identified at 47 and not 67.
Exactly. Right. So that's why I actually
say I'm 67. I'm going to start doing that.
Okay. Because you know what? When people ask me my chronological age, I say, well, I don't associate with it. So I don't talk about it because I don't want to tell my body I'm one thing when I feel and look and perform differently like another.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to biologically be my age. So my biological age is 28. I'm aiming for it to be 22. I got 6 more reverse years to go. Let's Benjamin Button it.
I like it.
And that makes me happier because I'm more vibrant.
Yeah. And you have a very healthy goal in mind too, right? That's a goal. That's a really good positive goal. That gives you purpose in life, right? Yeah. We talk about purpose, right? You kept saying to me, like, is there purpose? Is there integrity? Is there alignment? Right?
I would say that's a goal. My purpose is to expand consciousness and my own consciousness, the world's consciousness. And in doing so, I feel like that's also very tied to health, but in what we now will call like wellness versus what we used to call health, which is really pharmaceutical health, right?
Yeah. I know my company had originally named it medical, like the term medical was in there. And Steve and I got together and he's like, I think we should change this to wellness, right? So it's not the MAR medical group anymore. It's the MAR wellness group. And I said, I don't want to be associated with medicine. I want to get everybody away from medicine. I think it has its place, especially in an acute trauma situation. Western medicine is brilliant at acute trauma. You have blood coming out of your ears or bones sticking out of your skin. My gosh, please.
We're not going to energy heal.
Yeah, I mean, that is beautiful to have that trauma resource there. Once that trauma and you are safe once the trauma is over and you are safe, get out and now tap into the next level of being able to heal ourselves.
Yeah.
Right.
You just made me think of another random thought. I was watching, and I never know what's real and what's not, but I was watching something about in China, how they were using energy healing to kill tumors.
Yes. Yeah. They're using Qigong. So I studied under a Qigong master. He has his doctorate in Qigong. My school was partnered with Stanford Medical School. And so he taught at Stanford.
Amazing.
And he taught the oncology students with Qigong. And because they would have the person in live time, they would be measuring tumors and the size of the tumors. And he would do his Qigong work and he would shrink the tumors. And so Stanford has actually done a lot of research on this for decades.
There are so many things. It's so overwhelming for people, I think. Do we want to drill it down maybe to like 5 points, so you don't overwhelm anyone listening to this?
Yeah. So the takeaways are ground in Mother Nature, spend time with yourself in quiet, journal to heal, right? Use your words either by voice or by pen. Eat food as medicine. My gosh, sleep. Please sleep. Please go to bed at a normal hour and get up. Go to bed with the dark and get up with the sun, and be in a positive community. Meet like-minded individuals who can share and be safe with each other. And I do this as the engendering thing, right?
We're going to add to that the authenticity. In that community, being your authentic self is so important to all of those things that you just said.
And that's the safety part, that you feel like you can show up as your authentic self.
Yeah.
That's good.
Great.
This has been so wonderful having you. Thank you. I want to give you a hug. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.